Welcome back. To get all our top stories, please go to our website, and that's channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us live on your mobile device by logging on to m.channelstv.com and download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. The Channels TV and the Channels 24 apps will give you access to news and updates. You'll also have access to the Eyewitness feature. With it, you can share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions you see. Civil society groups have met in Yola, the Adamawa state capital, to consolidate on the peace that has returned to insurgency-hit communities. Participants are now saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that the rehabilitation efforts, including Operation Safe Corridor, established to reintegrate repentant Boko Haram members to the society, are successful.
It used to be a place of fire and fury when the insurgents held sway, until respite came through the boots and superior air power of the Nigerian military. Relative peace has returned, families reunited and complete integration on the way, but there seems to be a new challenge to deal with. Community members in affected war areas in Adamawa are having a hard time accepting repentant former Boko Haram members or maidens who were married by the insurgents. This dialogue of civil society groups, members of faith-based community, government officials, NGOs and more is an attempt to deal with that problem.
These members of Boko Haram are from these communities and they'll continue to belong to that community. They have relations, they have families, so reconciliation is very important. It has been done in some society in Rwanda, in Uganda, in South Africa to successful. So I think we need to pursue reconciliation.
The lingering conflict between farmers and herders, what happened in Numan recently, is an issue that needs very serious proactive steps to address.
The rep of the state governor has a slightly different approach and thinking.
This calamity that befell us do not represent an opportunity for some of us to feed our nests. In some other places, in some other climes, this unfortunate incident is also being used by some people to enrich themselves, to shortchange the system, to cheat the system, and to make the system look very, very dirty. For us in Adamawa, we are committed to making it very clean, we are committed to being accountable, we are committed to doing what is right, and we will continue to do it. And at any point in time, our peace is open. Give me any suggestion. If it works, I'll present it to the Executive Council and I'll follow it up activities.
Where IDP camps have been set up, accountability issues have been recorded, but the direction from this meeting is clear. Justice, accountability, trauma management, peace and reconciliation will form the template for the total restoration of communities and its citizens who were disintegrated by the war that occurred in those places.
The federal government has sent a strong message to Libyan authorities and indeed the international community that it will no longer tolerate its citizens abroad being treated unfairly. That's according to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyema, who led the Nigerian delegation to Libya. The minister said this while addressing the first batch of returnees that arrived at the Port Harcourt International Airport. Our correspondent Emmanuel Erei reports.
It is first of several trips Max Air Airline will be making in the coming days as it touches down at the Port Harcourt International Airport with 490 Nigerian returnees from Libya on board. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and his team, in company of the Secretary to the River State Government, are on ground to receive them. One after the other, the returnees step out into what is for many of them a new lease of life as they make their way to the waiting bus. Some need medical attention urgently. Others express different emotions, from thanking God to utter disbelief to shedding tears. Some are probably having a decent meal in many months.
when we got to Agadez, the number of helios that left to Libya was 18 helios, but it was only 5 was able to succeed that made it to Libya.
The minister and his team arrived at camp amidst cheers.
We're not going to accept any situation in which Nigerians were in any way being abused while they were in detention. We reminded them that they are signatories to international conventions, that we expected them to have total oversight and control of all those who are guarding our children.
Members of the delegation believe things are moving in the right direction.
The facility in Port Harcourt, which is about 1,000, we can accommodate 1,000 returnees, is available.
The next stage now is going to be the counseling as well as rehabilitation and integrating them back into the society.
If anybody thinking of going on that journey should just perish the thought, because you are not likely to survive it. And there's a deadline to bring them back. Once we bring everybody back and you're still going, really, you're putting yourself into trouble.
Activities go far into the night.
The prison we come was very bad. They maltreat us bad. We don't eat there. No good water, no good heads. They used to beat our boys.
A major concern expressed by officials on ground here is that most of Nigerian returnees from Libya are either teenagers or youths, putting a huge question mark on youth engagement in the country and posing a possible threat to the future of the nation's leadership. Emmanuel Ere, Channels Television News.
Now, Cross River State Governor Professor Ben Ayade has performed the groundbreaking for a new settlement called Virgin City in furtherance of his administration's policy to develop infrastructure. The project, which is valued at $1 billion, is in partnership with a Chinese firm, and it will be sited in Calabar municipality. The Virgin City is designed to be another tourist center with the European and African concept. Governor Ayade has promised that the host community will be giving subcontracts when the demand arises.
We're going to ensure that as part of the agreements that we're going to have, the community is a part of the core function and organ of this investment. And so recruitment of labor, emphasis should be given to the community, the host community. So the host community, you have a priority role to play. Also, we will ensure that if there are small subcontracts to be given, again, this community will have priority. Because we want to see that you become stable. We don't want to do an estate where the community itself cannot afford to live in. We should have members of the community whose income, which has improved as a result of the construction phase of the job, allows them now the luxury of being able to also to buy up properties here.
Their concern, for me to throw more light, Your Excellency, is for them to develop a virgin city for Cross River State. A city that will touch all human sphere, a city that will provide education for us, because they are going to establish Jilin University of Technology in this very place, and we shall be doing exchange program. They are also going to establish other primary and secondary schools. There will be churches, there will be mosques, there will be palaces for our chiefs, and to crown it all, they will introduce tourism.
Schools across Nigeria have resumed after the holidays, but we'll find out why it's a different story in Kaduna State. That's when News Across Nigeria returns. Stay with us.